This is yours, Sierra. Men helping out around the house. Let me go ahead and play this clip.
Men to help you around the house. You want men to just automatically know what you want done around the house, and they are not wired to know that. You might think it's basic and common sense, but it's really not, because men's brains are not wired.
What about simple thing like take out the trash? And then the man still doesn't want to do that. Like his only job is to take out the trash. The only thing his only job is to take out the trash.
It's a few things going on with that, right? Yeah. A lot of men have an issue with women telling them what to do. They don't like the idea of having a woman in power over them. So when a woman tell him to do something, his rebellious ways kick in. Number two, a lot of them are lazy. They don't want to do anything. Want men to help you around the house. You want men to just automatically know what you want done around the house, and they are not wired to know that. You might think it's basic and common sense, but it's really not, because men's brains are not wired.
What about simple thing like take out the trash? And then the man still doesn't want to do that. Like his only job is to take out the trash. His only job is to take out the trash.
It's a few things going on with that, right? Yeah. A lot of men have an issue with women telling them what to do. They don't like the idea of having a woman in power over them. So when a woman tell him to do something, his rebellious ways kick in. Number two, a lot of them are lazy. They don't want to do anything.
You know what? I was going to say I didn't want to go first, but Stacey, do you still want to go first?
You go ahead.
Trev, do you got a honey-do list?
No.
You don't have a honey-do list?
No. I already know what to do. I already know what to do. We have a system. So I'll put it this way, right? We have... And not to say like never I would be asked, hey, could you do this? Because there'll be something come up, right? Could you do this? And all right, cool. We got that. But we have a system. I don't really need anybody to tell me what to do.
Not necessarily
I'm automatic.
In that sense, but we know how women operate. Like all of us, like all men done joked about the honey-do list. This is what happens when you have somebody that talks about relationships that ain't got one. Because men don't have no problem with a woman asking them to do anything. That's not a thing.
No, not at all.
That's not a thing.
Not at all.
Not in a relationship. Your woman come and ask you, hey, man, can you take, like, that's not a thing. First and foremost, most of us got kids and we defer to the son anyway. Hey, boy, go take out the trash. That's first and foremost. Most of us defer to our kids anyway.
Yes, that's exactly what I do.
So the thing is like, this is what happens when you start recognizing that people project rather than because like when you talk to married men, we talk about shit that our wives ask us to do all the time. Like, yeah, man, I got to get to that. I know there was, you know what I mean? What is wrong with people, bro?
Why was she sitting like that? Like, I just didn't even.
Hold on, Stacey. Hold on. Let's ask the man.
Well,
Stacey, your man got a problem.
She talks like a pimp named Slickback, so that's why she talks like that.
Right. Well, she's read all the pimp books. That's her problem. She's read all the pimp books.
Here's the thing, though.
What she's saying from.
Here's the thing.
She talks like she is a character on the Boondocks.
Her wig was crooked. Her message was crooked. It was all crooked.
Hold on, wait. I do want to do this though, because it was about, they asked, well, what about, just because a man doesn't do something doesn't mean that he's feeling rebellious or he doesn't want to listen. Sometimes it could be that he don't feel like doing it at that moment, but he'll get to it. That's why I brought up the honey-do list. That don't mean that he doesn't want to do it. Just, all right, I'll get to that later. All right, I'm gonna put, you know what I mean? Just like most humans do. We put off a lot of shit. Most people are procrastinators. So when you sit there, oftentimes though, the problem is that we recognize the procrastination in somebody else when we want them to do something. So then you have a problem with them procrastinating, but then you forget all the shit that you done procrastinated in your life when somebody came and asked you to do something. The reality is
projection.
Exactly. The problem is like this is why I have a problem with the way that she tried to put that is that they just feel rebellious. That's not how men operate, not with our women. She asked us to do something. That's why when men joke, we laugh about the whole honey-do list because that's just basically a bunch of shit we got to get to. That don't mean that we don't want to do it. That don't mean, oh man, I'm not doing that because she asked me to. It's just like, oh shit, that's another thing on the plate. All right, I'll get to it. And we just start marking up shit as we go. But if you talk to the married women on the panel, there are no married women on the panel. There are no married women on the panel. Are y'all all in relationships? Everybody in
there are no married women on the panel. There's only married men on the panel. I just want to say that.
Shit.
There's only married men on the panel. Just want to say that. There are no married women on the panel.
When y'all was in a relationship, did you have a problem? Did you feel like that the man wasn't doing what you wanted, wasn't doing what you asked him to do because he had a rebellious spirit? Or was it just he didn't feel like doing it? He'd get to it later. He procrastinated. All typical normal shit.
I think all that. A little bit of all that, in my opinion. I mean, most of the time, I feel like, taking out the trash, some stuff men just naturally know how to do. But then, I mean, people just overall, I mean, when I think about myself, again, as an educator, we're teaching common sense. I've been teaching common sense for about 14 years now. And so we can't make the generalizations, and say like, oh, somebody's just going to know what to do. So we got to give people grace. And when you do ask somebody, it seemed a little aggressive when she sort of said it, like when she tells, what to do. And I feel like in a relationship, you let your partner know because I always strive to try to talk to my partner in love. I need this from him because I be super strong by myself. Like I could pick up a lot of different stuff, but when he comes around, I'm just like a damsel in distress. Sorry, not sorry. But it just is what it is. And I appreciate and I value. And sometimes when I get frustrated, I go to myself and I say, well, what expectations have I put on him or have I not made clear or to him? And so then we have conversations about clearing up misconceptions because sometimes you can put an expectation on somebody or I expected him to do that. Like he stepped over those dirty socks. Why wouldn't he pick that up? Well, I can't expect him to do that. Well, honey, can we establish some household norms so we can, be fluid? We've got kids around, so we want to make sure we're modeling better, not just acting out, but trying to be proactive.
And I would say also to add to that is that most people determine what they're going to do around the house. All right, you do the kitchen, I do this, I do that. I cook on this day, you cook on that day. Like you pretty much start relegating and delegating things between the two of y'all from Jump Street. So that like kind of like what Trev was saying is that most of the time you already know what you're supposed to do. It's only when it comes to things that that person don't necessarily do. So for instance, I don't do laundry. So if my wife came and asked me, hey, can you throw a load of laundry in there? That's what I'm assuming that she's talking about because you can't sit here and look at people's relationships and assume that, hey, look, one person is asking the other person to do everything and he's just sitting on his ass and not doing shit because he's being rebellious. That's not how relationships work. They would end almost immediately.
Go ahead, Andre. I think Andre agree with you, Sweeney. Go ahead, Andre.
You know what? No, I really don't.
Of course she doesn't. She don't agree with nobody.
Of course
she's a man. She's not going to agree with him.
No, this is the thing. Like, let's be honest. I don't even think that the men are capable of being honest about this conversation because that means that you have to admit that you guys can be very dirty. Like men can be very, very absent-minded when it comes to like things laying around on the floor, dishes. Like the fact that you feel like you have to delegate tasks in the home instead of just seeing it and noticing that it needs to be done is concerning.
That's not what that is, and I didn't say that.
Sir.
You got to stop just saying stuff and putting definitions to it when nobody said that.
Let her get it out. You can, buddy. Let her get